Alright, guys, I had to go ahead and cut that intro a little bit short, as apparently the Ohio State game got underway, got a little bit behind, but it is what it is. Here we go, 3rd and 8 here for Ohio State. Kalia McManus in at quarterback here for the Golden Gophers. Takes the snap, rolling out of the pocket, goes up the middle, only gets about 4 yards on the play. Now, as you guys see, I'm at a little bit of a different angle here because on the last few YouTube streams that I've had, I think it was the last 4, I've received a copyright claim from the YouTube community policy, whatever in the world it's called. But at the end of the day, kind of had to do it though, because YouTube's got to be so strict about their policy apparently. So I got to kind of look a little awkward here. This will force Maryland to punt after the 3rd down stop by Ohio State. And they punt it here on 4th and 5. Jane Ballard to receive the punt, calls a fair catch. Flag on the play. Not sure what the flag's going to be for here. But it will be a 1st and 10 for Ohio State, regardless of what happens here, of whatever happened. Here we go, Kyle McCord, that quarterback here, 1st and 10 for Ohio State. McCord takes a snap, hands it off to Travion Henderson. Henderson still running, still going against Henderson. Past the 30 he goes. And this will be a 1st and 10 automatically here for Ohio State. That's a good start right there for Travion Henderson to get the running game started here for the Buckeyes as they'll get up to Ohio State's own 30-yard line. 2nd down coming up as McCord again is going to hand it off to Henderson. Henderson gets a gain of 4 yards. Be 2nd down and 6 coming up here for Ohio State. Buckeyes offense led by Travion Henderson, Marvin Harrison Jr., Abuka Fleming, and Cade Stover for the receiving group. And then the offensive line is Josh Simmons, Donovan Jackson, Carson Hansman, Matthew Jones, and the right tackle being none other than Josh Fryer. Being one of the backup offensive linemen last year, Josh Fryer stepped up to be the starting right tackle. As McCord takes a snap, hands off to Henderson, and Henderson once again finds his way for the 1st down, and Ohio State gets a fresh set of downs as they're getting the running game going here early. Great start here for Ohio State's offense, but especially their running game, though. Here we go. McCord to take the snap here. He's back in shotgun from the 41. McCord taking the snap. McCord going to fire down the right side. Caught by Henderson. And Henderson's going to run and take it again for another 1st down here for Ohio State. Another massive reception right there. Another big play for Ohio State's offense and another big play from Travion Henderson. McCord making the right reads right there, that's for sure. Knowing how to read the defense is what he's improved on ever since last year. Gotta love what McCord's been doing for this team. He hasn't been great, but he hasn't been horrible. He's found a way to make plays, but every now and then he's just had some mistakes. Here we go here on 1st and 10 as McCord takes a snap, hands it off. This is going to be Chip Trayanum, and Trayanum runs with it, takes it for about 9 yards, and it will be a 2nd down short here for Ohio State. Ohio State looking to get in striking distance here and looking to absolutely obliterate the Golden Gophers. Here we go. It'll be 1st and 10 now for Ohio State from the Minnesota 36. Here we go. 1st and 10 for the Buckeyes from the Minnesota 36 as McCourt takes a snap and shotgun fires, and it's caught by Cade Stover, who's wide open and will easily pick up the first down. They're always leaving the playmakers wide open. Always. Not against anybody that's special or anything in the Golden Gophers. And not like they can go ahead and contend for the Big Ten. For the Big Ten, I think they're in the East right now. And if they are in the East, not like they can contend for the Big Ten East title to go to the Big Ten championship. But at the end of the day, they're kind of playing at a bit of the role of spoiler. They're probably trying to fight for a bowl game as well as McCourt hands it off. And it's going to be Trey Anum again. And Trey Anum with another first down on a big carrier for Ohio State's run game. Nice carry right there by Trey Anum. Might not need Kyle McCord to go ahead and throw the ball a lot in this game if this run game does their job. But Henderson will be back in the backfield, though. McCord back in shotgun. First and goal here for the Buckeyes from about the 9.5, probably closer to the 9-yard line, but McCord takes the snap, hands it off to Henderson. Henderson bounces to the outside. Henderson's taking it all the way to the end zone. Touchdown, Ohio State. And that's how the Ohio State scoring gets started with a nice little Travion Henderson carry down the left sideline and then for the score. That's how it gets started right there. Let's go. There we go. Kick is up, and the kick is good for the sophomore kicker, Jaden Fielding. And Ohio State, as expected to do so, gets started quickly with the 7-0 lead over the Minnesota Golden Gophers. Got to be like this all game. No taking the foot off the gas. This is a game we're expected to win. This is a game we're expected to win, so but guys, I never got a chance to say what's up to the chat, so shout out to everyone that's coming through. Appreciate the 2 people in here right now. Go through the chat here real quick while we are on a commercial break. MC, what's going on? Appreciate you for coming through, being the first one in here. And I do believe the only one up in the chat right now, if I'm not mistaken, said, let's go Buckeyes. You already know it is MC. Hit the like button if you're not done so. I appreciate you for coming through. Said, yeah, buddy, the hat is great. I'd rather listen to you than the game. You rock it. Keep up the awesome job. I appreciate it, MC. I appreciate that. Yeah, buddy, touchdown Buckeyes. You already know, 7-0. Got to do it all game long. All game long. It's got to be the same way. Especially got to get ready for next week, for Thanksgiving weekend, when the 2 Big Ten East teams collide between Ohio State and Michigan. Especially that game. But yeah, MC, overall, it's a great start, though. It's a great start to the game. Got to do it all game long. This is a type of game where I will allow a couple mistakes from either the offense or the defense, whoever it may be. Because I really don't think this is going to impact our ranking right now, which we are currently second in the nation. It's not going to impact our ranking. I think we're still going to stay number 2. And Michigan might go down a little bit because they barely went ahead and snuck by the Maryland Terrapins. So who knows if they'll find a way to get by Ohio State next week. Or who knows where they're going to end up being ranked. Nathan Kaliak Menace. is the quarterback for the Minnesota Golden Gophers. Consecutive games with a touchdown. Travion Henderson with 7. Marvin Harrison Jr. with 6. Solid start, though, by Kyle McCord to this second to last game of the college football regular season. And the kick will go up, and it will be a fair catch here for the Golden Gophers. And I do believe, if I'm not mistaken, they're going to go ahead and start out at about their own 4-yard line. Impact players for Minnesota's offense versus Ohio State defense. For the Minnesota Golden Gophers is wide receiver Daniel Jackson and tight end Brevin Spanford. And then for the defense is going to be defensive end Jack Sawyer and then safety Sonny Styles. There's so many more, though, to say the least, than just Jack Sawyer and Sonny Styles. There's way more to Ohio State's defense. All right, Khalid Manis here going under center here to start off this drive for the Golden Gophers. Khalid Manis takes the snap. Khalid Manis hands it off to the running back, number 26 and 26. We'll take it for about 6 yards. It'll be about a 2nd down and 4 coming up here for the Golden Gophers. See what Minnesota can do, though. As they huddle up here for a 2nd down and 4 coming up. Khalid Manis in shotgun here for the Minnesota Golden Gophers. Khalid Manis takes the snap. Hands off again to his running back. And 26 is still running, still going. And then tackled by one of the 2 impact players that they were just talking about on the Big Ten Network in Sonny Styles. And the running back Evans is hurt. That is number 26. And he is hurt, though. You guys, shout out to the 5 people coming through and tuning into the chat. If you guys have not done so, ladies and gentlemen, hit the like button on the stream and hit the subscribe button if you guys are new. Be sure to share out the stream so we can bring more views up in the chat too as well. Appreciate all you guys for coming back through and tuning in. Just had a stream last night where we went ahead and streamed. Was it the Sixers game against Atlanta? I do believe so. I do believe that was the game that I streamed yesterday. Yep. Coming off the game where I streamed the Sixers NBA group play game against the Atlanta Hawks. Less than 24 hours ago, as a matter of fact. So we're right back in the grind, ladies and gentlemen. That's for sure. We're right back in the grind, though. But yeah, guys, good start, though, for Ohio State's offense with the Travion Henderson rushing touchdown. Now let's see if the defense can respond. For the Minnesota Golden Gophers, 7 different players have rushed for 100 yards in a game since 2021. No other Big Ten team with more than 5. So Minnesota has really been one of those like running back by committee type of teams, but they just really haven't found a way to get it going though. Once again, Minnesota, well, Khalil Manis is under center. He's not in shotgun this time as he goes ahead, runs it again with I do believe his backup running back, number 30, but Jack Sawyer is right there to make the tackle. Here we go, Khalil Manis and the Golden Gophers offense here on a 2nd down and 12 from their own 40. Khalil Manis in shotgun, takes a snap, hands off to the running back, and number 30 again. Going to be a little short. I think he got about a gain of 5 possibly, making this a 3rd down and 7 for the Golden Gophers offense. We'll see how Ohio State's defense holds up here on this 3rd down and 7. We go 3rd and 7 here for Minnesota. Khalil Manis looking to pick up the 1st down. Takes a snap, hands it off. And Ohio State's defense is just all over that all day, every day. First guy there was Cody Simon. Following it up was Jack Sawyer, and then Steele Chambers also was one of the guys to come in and finish up the dirty work. And to clean up the mess on aisle 5. And it'll be a 4th down and 8 here for Minnesota, and they're more than likely going to go ahead and punt it here. Ohio State looking to stay explosive and have this be a preview game to what the game is going to potentially look like against the Wolverines next week for Thanksgiving weekend. As the punt's going to go all the way down. It's going to circle around a little bit, and it's going to be down at about the 3-yard line. Common Core with some work to do, but whenever they've been given an opportunity, they've always been able to take advantage. Can they do it here, though? We'll find out. After the defense went ahead and had the cleanup on aisle 5, they went ahead and took care of business. Which, by the way, guys, unless if Ohio State does end up making the college football playoff, or if they make a bowl game or something like that, this will be the final Ohio State game of the regular season and potentially the last Ohio State game of the year, unless if they do go ahead and make the college football playoff, which it can be very likely that they are going to. But again, we got one more game to play, and it's the one that all Ohio State fans hate in their hearts in the Michigan Wolverines. But for this regular season, this is going to be the last game that I'm going to be able to stream for the year. I got, unfortunately, work next Saturday for Thanksgiving weekend, which, honestly, that sucks. Because this is a game that I wanted to stream, but at the same time I didn't want to, because in case if Michigan ends up winning, I didn't want to have the floodbath of Michigan fans flying down into the chat. I didn't want to have that, but at the same time, it would have been nice to go ahead and stream another game, and this would have been the game to go ahead and stream for sure. Ohio State, though, get back to work. This is just something that we need to see against Michigan next week. Gotta see it. Get this guy out of here. Okay, put the right comment. Yeah, let's get this guy out of here. Get this guy out of here. Can't be putting that weird stuff in the chat. Can't be doing that though. Lucas Holman, my guy, what's going on, Lucas? Appreciate you for coming through. Hit the like button if you have not done so. Lucas Holman, appreciate you for coming through to the stream as well. So my Liberty Flames just caught the W. Well, there you go. My Liberty Flames are 11-0, baby. There you go, Lucas. Liberty Flames are making something happen. They just got to play better competition, though, and I think they have a shot at the top 25, most likely. As we did have a play here for Ohio State, which was a 3-yard gain here for the offense, and it might have been by Marvin Harrison Jr., if we're being honest here. But 2nd down and 7 coming up here for Ohio State from about the 6-yard line. It actually might have been a running play. And McCord's going to pitch it out here to Travion Henderson. Henderson trying to find a gap. Cannot do so. He absolutely runs into a wall. And we do have a flag, though, on the play. It's like a holding on the offense. And it'll be about half the distance to go, and it will remain 2nd down. We're the highest ranked group of 5 team. We get a New Year's Six Bowl. Well, there you go. So if Ohio State doesn't make the playoffs, we could possibly play all in a bowl game. Maybe. But again, it's all going to be based off of next week. I'm going to tell you that. It's all going to be down to next week. But Ohio State's been in this situation, and you know what? They still made the college football playoff. And here we go. McCord taking the snap, firing it down the middle of the field, and it's caught by Cade Stover. Gets a solid amount of the yardage here. Going to be a 3rd down and 4 here for Ohio State. Here we go, 3rd and 4 from about the 9-yard line. Buckeyes look to pick it up as McCord takes a snap. McCord fires down the left side, and that's way overthrown of Marvin Harrison Jr. And this is going to have to be a punt here for Ohio State, as they could not take advantage of what Minnesota just tried to go ahead and gift them right there. So we have 4th and 4 here for the Buckeyes. And this one, they're going to go ahead and they're going to have to punt it. Jesse Mirko, currently the Buckeyes punter, and the Golden Gophers punt returner is Quentin Redding. As the punt goes up, we'll fly all the way down inside the 45. It will be a fair catch. And with 4:01 left to go in the first quarter, Minnesota looking to get into striking distance now. With Ethan Kaliak-Manis. I have a stream idea for you. You can live stream one of my team's basketball games this year. Which team, Lucas? Like the team that you go to school for, or like a college school? think my school, because they were live streamed on YouTube. What are they? Just like Daniel Boone basketball or something? It's my guess. So like what the YouTube channel name could be. Like what's the YouTube channel name for the high school though, Lucas? Is it just like Daniel Boone basketball or something? Because then I might want to check that out a little bit, see if there's potential. I could probably just look it up and I'd probably be there. But if you want to do that too, Lucas, that's fine too. Just see if I can find it. I think I found it, Lucas. Isn't it like Blazer Media or something? Because that's the team name for y'all, and it shows a couple basketball games on there, so I think it's about right. As Khalid Manis fires down the field, and it's going to be caught by number 4 here for Minnesota. Here we go, though. 1st and 10 here for Khalid Manis and the Golden Gophers offense. Khalid Manis takes the snap, hands it off to number 20. Number 20 being, was it 20 or number 30? I forget who it was, but Big Ten standings right now, conference record, Michigan currently 8-0. Ohio State likely going to be 8-0 after today. Penn State currently standing at 6-2. Rutgers at 3-5. Same with Maryland. Michigan State at 2-6, and Indiana at 1-7. And then coming out of the West, it's likely going to be the Iowa Hawkeyes, it looks like. Second down 7, though, for Minnesota. Khalid Manis looks like he is in shotgun. Khalid Manis takes a snap. Khalid Manis getting blitz, getting chased, and throws it to a eligible receiver, but gets absolutely lit up and demolished by Jack Sawyer. And we got another cleanup on aisle 5 that the employees need to get to work with. Here we go. 3rd down 11 here for Minnesota. Ohio State looking to get their defense off the field again. Here we go. Khalid Manis takes the snap. Khalid Manis looking. Khalid Manis gets away. Khalid Manis still running, still going, and we'll get down to about the 40. It will be a running clock. Minnesota's going to be short, and looks like once again they're going to go ahead and punt it. Good tackle, though, on the play, though, right there by Steel Chambers, making sure the runner is short of the 1st down marker. Here's the punt here for Minnesota. Looks like a solid boot. Ballard's going to catch it at about the 12 or 13-yard line, and that is where the next drive will begin for Ohio State. And we will go to a commercial break here with 51 seconds left to go here in the 1st quarter. We be attending the game next week. We play your school. Here's the thing, Lucas. I think I told you this already, but next Saturday I'm working, so unfortunately that's going to be a no in my book. And players on your score should look out for. I haven't really had an opportunity to go ahead and attend a good amount of the games, so I really don't know. I think they're a solid team, I'm pretty sure. It's what I've heard recently, as the start to the drive starts with a Kyle McCord pass on, I do believe, what was a curl route to Marvin Harrison Jr., and he'll go ahead and pick up the first down here for Ohio State. Nice curl route right there by Marvin Harrison Jr., cutting back, going up the field, past the 30. Not quite past the 35, though, but first down's a first down when it matters most. Everything counts. Here we go. 1st and 10 here for Ohio State. McCord takes a snap, goes on play action, gets it out to Abuka. Abuka looking to get to the outside, and he's down at about, I want to say, I'm not sure. Did he get past the 40? He might be at about like the 44 or the 46, but that is how the first quarter is going to come to a close. With the 2nd down and 4 coming up here, but for Ohio State, they lead the Minnesota Golden Gophers right now at the end of the first quarter by a score of 7-0 as we head to quarter number 2. I have an interesting question. So, say Iowa wins out and finishes 10-2, and they play Ohio State in the championship game. They beat you guys at 11-2. Do they make the playoffs? They're 16 right now. I think whoever comes out of the Big Ten championship would represent the Big Ten in the college football playoff. But I do remember last year when both Ohio State and Michigan were both in the college football playoff. So are you hoping Tennessee beats Georgia? Absolutely, but it's probably not going to happen, though. Carson Beck looks like an absolute demon. He really does. And not to mention, after Carson Beck, they're getting Dylan Raiola in there. Oh, my gosh. Dylan Raiola is going to be a demon for Georgia. That was the original Ohio State commit we're talking about. We're talking about the original Ohio State commit. And then he decided to decommit and then goes to Georgia. Like, that's ridiculous. When he gets in there, he's going to be a freaking stud. Georgia up 17-7. Yeah, I figured that was going to happen. I'm telling you, Lucas. Georgia's about to probably have one of those like field days against Tennessee. That's what's more than likely going to happen. What will I have to do this season to go D1? You would probably... Wait, Lucas, you're a junior right now, right? If you're a junior, I'd say... And I think you're the point guard, I think you told me. I think you told me that you're the point guard. And I do believe you're a junior as well. So I think to have a chance of going like D1, maybe like 20 to 25 points as the point guard, depending on how good your team is, though. Oh, small forward? Okay, maybe, again, probably around like 20 to 25 points, I'd say. Here we go. Looks like the second quarter is about to get underway here between Ohio State and Minnesota. 2nd down and 5 from about the 38 as McCord hands it off to TreVeyon Henderson. Henderson finds a gap. Did he get enough for the first down? The officials are coming in and saying that he was short of the marker. Henderson's trying to say that he made it. We're probably going to go off of what the officials say, and that's exactly what they do. 3rd down and 1 here for Ohio State. Looking to pick it up. They got Henderson in the backfield. McCord in shotgun. McCord handing it off immediately to Henderson. Henderson made that look like absolute baby food. It's a nice pickup right there for Ohio State. First and 10 Buckeyes. McCord takes the snap, goes on play action, fires down the middle of the field. He's wide open. And that's Emeka Egbuka. After not having the best of games last week, only off of 4 targets and 1 reception, Egbuka saying, let me come out here, let me make a statement real quick. Let me show why I'm one of the best wide receiver 2s in the country. And you best believe that's one of the reasons why right there. That overall in his career, Emeka Egbuka has been one of the top wide receiver 2s in the country, just in his career overall as a whole. As McCord fires down the right side, and that is going to be, is that a catch by Marvin Harrison Jr.? They're calling it incomplete. If I'm Ryan Day, I might give this a chance at a challenge here. That's a catch. He's dragging the feet, I think. I got to see another view of the feet. So he's dragging the feet right there. I think he's dragging the left foot, so I think that is a catch by Marvin Harrison Jr. I think that is a catch by Marvin Harrison Jr. because he's dragging the left foot, and in college you only need 1 foot down. Oh, yeah, he's got that. That's a catch by Marvin Harrison Jr. That's a catch by Marvin Harrison Jr. At least it should be. I think he got it by just a smidge. He got it by just a smidge, I think. They're going to take a while to review this one. Yeah, he got it by a little bit before his right foot got off the ground. That is incredible by Marvin Harrison Jr. That's absolutely incredible. He's got 2 feet in. He got 2 feet in on that catch. Holy cow, dude. He got 2 feet in on that catch. That is amazing. That's a catch by Marvin Harrison Jr. That's a catch. Are you serious? No way they called that an incomplete pass. He dragged it, both his feet basically, before they came off the ground. There's no way they called that an incomplete pass. They so missed that call right there. They missed that by a landslide. All right, next play. Let's go. Draw it up here. Come on. 2nd and 10 here for Ohio State from inside the 30 at about the 29-yard line to be exact. Marvin Harrison Jr. at the very bottom of the screen. Fleming up top, Egbuka in the slot. McCord takes a snap, fires down the middle of the field again. That one is incomplete, and that time he just missed Marvin Harrison Jr. on his route. He got that way behind Marvin Harrison Jr. That could have easily been picked off. That could have easily been picked off right there by the Golden Gophers secondary. Here we go. 3rd down, 10 here for Ohio State. So far, they are 1 of 2 on 3rd down today. McCord takes a snap. Needs a protection. Fires down the middle of the field, and that's almost intercepted again. McCord making some really risky decisions on where he's throwing the football. But it will be a 4th down, and Jaden Fielding will come on for the field goal here for the Buckeyes. Those last 2 throws were not the greatest from Kyle McCord. Those last 2 throws were not great. They actually were not that good. Like, you got McCord throwing into double coverage. You got Fleming wide open on the right. You had Fleming absolutely wide open. The defender wasn't even anywhere near him. So this will be a 47-yard attempt by Jaden Fielding. Kick is up, and the kick is good by a landslide. And Ohio State, despite not coming away with 7, finds a way to come away with 3 here with a 47-yard field goal by Jaden Fielding, the sophomore kicker, to give the Ohio State Buckeyes what is now a 10-point lead. But those last 2 throws by Kyle McCord were not great. Those were 2 throws that could have easily gotten picked off. Those were 2 throws right there that could have easily been picked off of Kyle McCord. Kyle McCord needs to be better with his decision-making. My brother's in Alabama right now, traveling with the Temple football team. One of the players on Temple just snapped his leg in half. My brother saw it. Prayers up. Hey, prayers up to the one Temple football player. Guys, put the prayer hands in the chat. To the 9 people up in here, put the prayer hands in the chat for the one Temple football player that snapped his leg in half, and Lucas Holman's brother ended up seeing it. Injury like that, ladies and gentlemen, that's no joke.
The leaves keep falling, baby, but I'm getting low from my dog.
Trivia question here related to Ohio State. Before Marvin Harrison Jr. last week, who was the last Buckeye to score the team's first 3 touchdowns in a big game? It ended up being Ted Ginn Jr. back in 2004 against Michigan State. But the next offensive drive, though, Kyle McCord just needs to be better, especially with his decision-making on where he wants to throw the football. As this one will go into the end zone here for a touchback here for the Golden Gophers. And the Golden Gophers will be starting from their own 25. First and 10 here for Ohio State, or rather first and 10 here for Minnesota, I should say. About 13 minutes left to go here in the first half. Khalid Mann's back in shotgun here for the Golden Gophers. Khalid Mann standing at the 20. Ball being snapped at the 25. Khalid Mann takes the snap, hands off to the running back, and he's going absolutely nowhere. Getting sandwiched after another cleanup on aisle 5. That's the 3rd one today. That's between JT Tuimoloau and Tyleik Williams. I think Steele Chambers might have also gotten involved in that one. That's their 4th. That's Ohio State's defense. That's Ohio State defense's 4th tackle for loss in this game so far, in the first half exactly. Here we go. Khalil Manis takes the snap. Khalil Manis fires on the right side, and that is incomplete. Way short of the intended receiver in number 9. Khalil Manis facing so much pressure from this Ohio State defense. It's unbelievable how much pressure so far he's faced in the first half. And you did just see Zach Evans getting taped up for Minnesota. That is their RB1. He is still in his pads, though, so expect him to come back in this game at some point. Here we go. 3rd down and 14 here for the Golden Gophers. Khalil Manis back in shotgun. Takes a snap. Khalil Manis looking, dancing, firing down the middle of the field, and that is caught. Davison Igbinison, what on God's earth are you doing? Leaving the receiver wide open. It's at least one time a game where this dude, Davison Igbinison, has to leave a receiver wide open on every single team. Davison Igbinison, you need to be better than that. Can't be having that for next week, especially. Here we go. 1st and 10 here for Minnesota. That was Corey Crooms Jr. with the catch, it looks like. It looks like a timeout is going to be called here by the Golden Gophers. Yeah, guys, be sure to put the prayer hands in the chat for the one Temple player that got their leg snapped in half. Put the prayer hands in the chat, guys. But Ohio State's defense has just been an absolute train wreck to opposing offenses so far. Even the 2 top 10 teams that Ohio State has beaten this year, the defense for Ohio State has been an absolute train wreck to both Penn State and Notre Dame. They've been an absolute train wreck. They've had multiple cleanups on aisle 5. They've had so many cleanups on aisle 5, it's too many for me to count. It's like, it feels like a million. I do believe this is going to be a 3rd down and 14 coming up for the Golden Gophers from their own 21-yard line. Actually, no, they did make up for that one play. So the Minnesota 21-yard line was where they were at before. But now they're at the Ohio State 47. As here we go with 1st and 10 here for Ethan Khalil Manis. So far, he's 3 of 5 for 39 yards. About 11 and a half minutes left to go here in the first half. Khalil McManus takes the snap, hands it off to number 30 here for Minnesota's run game, and it's only going to be a gain of about 2 yards. That is going to be number 30, Jordan Newbin, only getting a gain of 2 yards. Second down and 8 coming up here for the Golden Gophers offense. And for the receiving game, they have yet to get one of their main factors in Brevin Spanford involved, the tight end for Minnesota. So they have yet to get him involved in this game so far. They probably will eventually get him involved, though, later on as the game goes on. As Khalil McManus takes a snap, Khalil McManus fires on the middle of the field, and that is barely caught. And be caught by number 87, and 87 has a gain of about 3 yards here. Going to be a 3rd down and 5 here for the Golden Gophers. Here we go. 3rd and 5 here for the Golden Gophers from about the Ohio State 42. Khalil McManus looking for the first down, as so far he's 4 of 6 for 42 yards. 3rd down and 5. Khalil McManus takes a snap, hands it off to the running back again, and the running back is going to be absolutely stuffed. He's going nowhere behind the line of scrimmage. That's again Jordan Newbin getting stopped by this Ohio State run defense. And once again, this is going to be another punt here for Minnesota. Great stop right there by Ohio State's defense. Phenomenal stop. Ohio State doing what they're supposed to do in preparation for next week. Next week is a big game. And this is just in preparation for that game coming up. Mark Crawford, the Golden Gophers punter, and then Jaden Ballard being the punt returner here for the Buckeyes. Punt goes all the way down, just a little outside the 10 with about 9:15 left to go. The Buckeyes will start at about the 11 or 12-yard line. And Kyle McCord will be back on the field after the commercial break. Do you think College Game Day could possibly come to Liberty next year? Who knows? Who knows if they'll go to Liberty? If I had to take a guess, though, and this is just because I have some weird feeling, I'm going to say no. I'm going to say they don't go to Liberty. I just have some weird feeling that it's not going to happen. I mean, they went to James Madison today? They might. They may or may not. You never know. They may or may not, though. It's kind of unpredictable, to be honest, Lucas. It probably depends on... Where are you talking about the Fox College Game Day? Are you talking about the Fox College Game Day? Or which game day are you talking about? Like the ESPN one. Oh, the ESPN College Game Day with Pat McAfee? There's always a chance with the ESPN one, but with the Fox one, there's no chance. But the game is back on here. Ohio State looking to add on to their double-digit lead here over the Golden Gophers. Currently up 10-0 over the Gophers right now, and they will start with the ball at their own 11-yard line. Looking to go for 4 yards on the offensive side of the ball. The average drive start for both teams. For Minnesota, it's been from their own 30-yard line, and for Ohio State, it's been from their own 11-yard line. Here we go, though. 1st and 10 for the Buckeyes from their own 11-yard line. With quarterback in shotgun with, I do believe that is TreVeyon Henderson in the backfield. McCord takes a snap. Hands it off to TreVeyon Henderson. Henderson only getting about a yard on the play. It'll be 2nd down and 9 here for Ohio State. This O-line, though, when they go against this Michigan run defense and pass defense, they're going to need to be better with their blocking, though, because otherwise you just have the D-line just coming up and destroying Ohio State's O-line. And they will be interrupting that backfield as well as whatever Kyle McCord wants to do with the football. As McCord takes a snap, fires down the right side, it's caught by Marvin Harrison Jr., and he'll pick up about 6 yards, and it should be a 3rd down and 2 coming up here for the Buckeyes. And Marvin Harrison Jr. absolutely destroyed the defensive back on his route in number 5 for Minnesota. Here we go. 3rd down and 2 here for Ohio State from about their own 19-yard line. McCord takes a snap, hands it off on a jet sweep to Emeka Egbuka. Egbuka still runs, gets the 1st down. There might have been a little bit of roughness, unnecessary roughness on the play as a flag was thrown towards the end of the jet sweep run by Emeka Egbuka. So do not be surprised if this is going to be unnecessary roughness. Oh, they called a face mask. So they did end up calling a face mask on the play instead of unnecessary roughness. When you look at the replay, you'll see. But about 7:50 left to go here in the 1st half. Ohio State just driving down the field right now. From about the 47-yard line is where they stand as McCord takes a snap. McCord fires down the middle of the field. That's caught by Egbuka. And Egbuka with another 1st down here for Ohio State. Down inside the 40 of Minnesota. And Ohio State just continuing to drive down the field with the clock still running, going down to about 7.5 minutes left to go in the 1st half. Great play action right there from Kyle McCord. And a great job reading the defense right there. Much better than what he did on the 2 passes that could have almost been interceptions. Here we go for Kyle McCord standing at about the 35-yard line with an empty backfield. Henderson, as an eligible receiver for the moment, now comes back in the backfield, takes the jet sweep from McCord, and he'll get about 4 yards on the play. That's not the usual guy you see doing the jet sweeps in TreVeyon Henderson. It's more so Egbuka taking the jet sweeps, but he still gets a gain of about 4 yards. And we have an injury to a Golden Gopher on the field right now in number 12 for this Golden Gophers defense. But Ohio State, ladies and gentlemen, they're just finding a way to take advantage of this Minnesota defense, which is really not that great. The team overall is not that great as a whole, let's be honest here.
Wow. Stuff is awesome.
But I'll tell you guys one thing, though, ladies and gentlemen. Outside of being when I'm not on the camera, I've been saying to myself constantly that next week, though, against Michigan, Kyle McCord is going to have his best game of the year. Another factor into this being in play is Ryan Day. He's got to be coaching his butt off. He's got to be coaching his butt off right now for next week. And the same thing going to Jim Knowles on the defensive side, as well as this entire defense, because the Wolverines have a great 1-2 punch running game with Blake Corum and Donovan Edwards. They have a phenomenal 1-2 punch of a run game. So the run defense for Michigan the run defense for Ohio State better be ready to go. And better be ready for more cleanups on aisle 5. And then as for the offense, you got to make plays, especially finding a way to get it to Marvin Harrison when he's matched up against Mike Samerstill. But here we go as this is second down 6 here. They hand it off to Henderson. Henderson got about 4 yards, I do believe, on the play, so this should be a 3rd down 2 here for Ohio State. And Travion Henderson cannot be held back right now. Travion Henderson just continuing to run the ball down Ohio State's throat. Or rather, down Minnesota's throat. Here we go as McCord hands it off on the jet sweep to Abuka. Abuka going down the sideline. Abuka down at about the 6-yard line. And this will be a 1st and goal here for the Buckeyes. Here we go. 1st and goal here for Ohio State. McCord in shotgun. Takes it to Henderson. Fires to the end zone. It's going to be incomplete. He tried to get it to the tight end, Cade Stover, but number 2, Jones, is able to make the play for this defense. Again, against Michigan, this is going to be one of those plays that's either close to him not being intercepted. Because Mike Samerstill or any one of those interior guys is going to find a way to come up and make a play here for that Michigan defense. Decision-making will be key, though, for this Ohio State offense to find a way to score against Michigan's defense. Henderson trying to bounce to the outside, trying to squeeze through. And again, that's the last thing you want to do against any of these defenses in the Big Ten or just against any of the great teams in college football as a whole. That's the last thing you want to do is go backwards for about a 2-yard loss. If that was Michigan going up against Ohio State, that'd be probably about a 4-yard loss or a 5-yard loss. That's just for the sake of Michigan's defense. Here we go from about the 8-yard line here. Carnell Tate on the bottom of the screen. McCord takes a snap. McCord fires over the head of Abuka, and that is incomplete. It's going to be a 4th down. McCord cannot be missing these throws. He just can't. He's got to be communicating with his receivers at all times next week. You got 1 week to prepare for Michigan, Kyle McCord. You're the quarterback that's led us up to this point, and you're going to lead us into this game against Michigan. So you got to be ready to go at all costs. Jaden Fielding to go ahead and attempt the chip shot field goal here. First one was from 47 yards out, which he did make early in the game. This is from 26 yards out, which the kick is up, and the kick is drilled for Jaden Fielding to give the Buckeyes a 13-0 lead here over the Minnesota Golden Gophers with under 5 minutes left to go here in the first half. Ohio State looking to keep up their dominance. Although that has not been the case, though, for Colin McCord. That has not been the case, though, for Colin McCord, though. He has not proven his dominance whatsoever in this game. I mean, as of right now, he has not proven his dominance. Only 10 of 16 for Colin McCord for 144 yards. The good news, though, is that for the defense, though, they're really locking up this Minnesota Golden Gophers offense, as they should. This is what's expected from Ohio State's defense anyway. Ohio State's defense also has been able to keep Ethan Kaliak-Manis in check, as they've held him to 4 for 6 for 42 yards going into their next drive, where Jaden Fielding will kick it all the way down as the game is right back on. Jaden Fielding will kick this one down, and it will go to about the 7 or 8 yard line, and that is where the drive is going to start, as that was caught by Redding, who is, again, apparently their punt and kick returner. Here we go. 1st and 10 here for Ohio State. Or rather, why do I keep saying Ohio State? 1st and 10 for Minnesota. And apparently, whenever it's a fair catch for them, no matter where the spot is, it will always be from the 25-yard line for where will start the drive. As on 1st and 10 here for Minnesota. Kaliak-Manis waiting to take the snap. Tells his running back to go to the right side. Now takes the snap. Kaliak-Manis fires down the left side. That will be caught. Davison Igbinison getting destroyed like always. Getting cooked like home fries in the fryer. This will be a 2nd down and 1 coming up here for Minnesota's offense. That's right, guys. As a fan of Ohio State, I'm allowed to criticize the players that I know are not making good plays. Here we go. 2nd and 1 here for the Golden Gophers. Here we go. 2nd and 1. Kaliak-Manis takes a snap, hands it off to their running back, and their running back is going to not get the 1st down. That is a massive play from the CB1 on Ohio State's secondary in Denzel Burke. And so far in the first half, I am actually surprised that Minnesota has not gotten a single target to Brevin Spanford, who is their top target on this offense. He has been their top target, and so far, Ohio State is just shutting them down right now. Kaliak-Manis is going with the QB sneak here, and the classic quarterback sneak instead of the tush push, but he is able to pick up the 1st down with his legs. Apparently, he was just very strong right there. He did get low and was able to pick up some yardage, and goes back to the original quarterback sneak and picks up the 1st down with ease. Here we go. 13 1st downs for Ohio State. That was just the 4th one right there for Minnesota. Kaliak-Manis takes a snap, fires, and that is going to be caught by number 11 here for Minnesota. Number 11, do not know who that is. But a bit of a high throw right there by Kaliak-Manis right there. That went to number 11, Spencer, who got absolutely drilled to the turf by Steel Chambers afterwards. But here we go. 2nd down and 4 here for Minnesota. Kaliak-Manis waiting for the opportunity. Curling in shotgun right now. Kaliak-Manis takes a snap. Kaliak-Manis on play action. Looking, dancing, fires down the middle of the field. And that is tipped. And was it intercepted? The answer is yes. Intercepted by Ohio State. And that is Cody Simon coming away with it. A little bit of a tip drill right here for Ohio State. And their defense is able to make a play and get an interception off of Ethan Kaliakmanis. It was tipped up into the air by Josh Proctor. And it was indeed intercepted. Ooh, he actually did lose the ball a little bit. For the moment, it is an interception, but I do have a feeling that Minnesota is going to go ahead and try to look over this. The ball did touch the turf. It's going to actually be an incomplete pass. But really close to being an interception right there for Cody Simon. And they already went ahead and ruled it an incomplete pass, and Cody Simon kind of already knows what happened right there. But it was ruled an incomplete pass here, so 3rd down and 4 here for the Golden Gophers. Looking to pick up the 1st down. 1st down for Minnesota is at about the 47-yard line. They are 2 of 6 on 3rd down today. What will they do here against Ohio State's defense? Kaliakmanis takes a snap. Kaliakmanis looking, fires on the left side, and that is incomplete. Going absolutely nowhere. He threw it to absolutely nobody. There was nobody in the area, and that's going to be a punt here, most likely for the Golden Gophers special teams. Dave saying, Benson saying that's an incomplete pass. There's no pass interference or anything. And the thing about college football is that you cannot challenge a penalty. So there's no way of going back. And if the refs missed that call, they missed that call. If they didn't, it is what it is. Under 2 minutes left to go here. Ballard is going to let this bounce, and it takes a nice roll. And it'll go out of bounds at about the 3-yard line. And that is where Ohio State will start with the ball on this drive. They'll more than likely look to add to their lead here going into halftime. And Ohio State will indeed get the second half kickoff to start the second half. But for the moment right now, they are in a situation where they are starting from their own 3-yard line. McCord and Henderson both in the end zone. Henderson runs it out off the handoff from Kyle McCord. And it'll be about a 3-yard gain here for Ohio State to start the drive. 2nd and 7 coming up. Second and 7 here for Ohio State from their own 6-yard line. McCord hands it off again to Henderson. And Henderson might have tripped because he easily had a gap to run for a good amount of yardage. And this will result in a 3rd down and 4 after what looked like was going to be TreVeyon Henderson running for days. It ends up being only a 2-yard gain for TreVeyon Henderson. They now need to go ahead and pick this up. But either way, they do get the ball to start the second half, so they're probably just looking to wind this clock down. But here we go. McCord hands it off again to Henderson. Henderson finds a hole, and another 1st down here for Ohio State, as Ohio State will just let the clock roll. Unless Minnesota does something about it and takes a timeout. Oh, the clock might stop inside 2 minutes, and then it will restart on the snap. As McCord tries to get away, but there is a flag that came very late. This was a flag that came very late, though, ladies and gentlemen. I'll tell you that much right now. This flag did come late as they're still conversing it. Still trying to have a conversation here. Like, what is taking so long to announce what the call was? Wow, it took you that long to realize that it was a false start on Ohio State. It took you that long to realize that. Could have made that call a long time ago. Just saying. I could have took a 30-second nap and y'all still wouldn't have called it. That's the thing, though. It took that long. It took that long, though, to say it was a false start on Ohio State. Like, okay. Ohio State's offense here will trot back onto the field. 236 total yards for Ohio State as a whole, passing and rushing combined. Minnesota only with 90 yards combined, 57 passing and 33 rushing. Here we go. 1st and 10 here for the Buckeyes. McCord takes a snap. McCord facing tons of pressure and just had to get that away. They're trying to look at the spot of the ball. I do believe Trayvon Henderson was the eligible man in the area. So unless if they throw a flag, this will not be an intentional grounding on Kyle McCord. But whoever missed that needs to be better on their block. Because against Michigan next week, you're not going to have that opportunity. That's going to be a sack right there. As McCord takes a snap, fires, and it's caught by Stover, and that's going absolutely no place. But again, Ohio State's trying to just wind the clock down and get to the half because they do get the ball to start the second half, and hopefully that's where they will go ahead and take over. Kyle McCord's definitely made a couple mistakes in the first half, especially throwing it into double coverage, especially. McCord looking. Danced around, and he will be sacked. And that's how the first half will come to a close. But Kyle McCord limps after that sack right there. Kyle McCord will try to shake it off going into the locker room, where it is officially halftime and where Ohio State will remain with a 13-0 lead here over the Golden Gophers. We get another look at this here. Josh Fryer absolutely missed his block right there. And I think the defender might have stepped on McCord's leg. It might be the ankle. I cannot tell what it is, though. But again, guys, that's how the first half comes to a close with a 13-0 Ohio State lead. Hasn't been pretty from Kyle McCord. That's definitely going to need to be better. Kyle McCord definitely has to be better regardless of how the first half went, leading to a 13-0 Buckeyes lead. But there you go, guys. There is your score at the end of the first half, where the Ohio State Buckeyes lead the Minnesota Golden Gophers right now, 13-0. Let's be real, though. This is a game where kind of like some mistakes can be given for Ohio State because this is not the team that we are worried about. We are worried about next week's matchup against Michigan, in which Ohio State will receive the second half kickoff here against Minnesota. Again, this is a game where Ohio State should find a way to pull this out. And they should find a way to run away with this game. And so far, it kind of just hasn't looked like it. Common Core especially needs to be better. He's got to be better than that. Defense, you got to keep doing your job, though. Keep doing your job, defense. Defense is doing a phenomenal job in the first half. Jim Knowles knows exactly what is going on. This is the best version of Jim Knowles and the defense that we've ever seen in maybe a good amount of seasons. I'd say at least maybe like 3 seasons since the defense was about this good. But on that note, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to go ahead and go over the halftime stats here, and then we're going to go ahead and take the halftime break here like we always do. So starting it off on the Minnesota Golden Gophers side, Ethan Kaliakmanis finishing the first half going 4 of 6 for 42 yards with no touchdowns and no interceptions. Following that up in the run game is led by Zach Evans, number 26, with 2 carries for 17 yards, averaging 8.5 yards a carry. And then Ethan Kaliakmanis, their quarterback, following it up with 2 carries for 8 yards, averaging 4 yards a carry. And then Jordan Nubin with 8 carries for 5 yards, averaging 0.6 of a yard per carry. Neither one of those guys also had a touchdown, obviously, because Minnesota is getting shut out right now by the Buckeyes 13-0. And then following that up for the receiving room, leading receiver right now is currently Corey Crooms with 2 receptions for 42 yards, averaging 21 yards per reception. Nick Cowerup with a reception for 3 yards. And then Jordan Nubin with a reception for -3 yards so far to end off the first half. For some reason, it is not showing the kicking stats. They have not been showing the defensive stats, though, recently on the Google scoreboard, which is basically all I can get for the Ohio State game. But they are showing the punting here for Minnesota. And as expected, though, they're not going to show the kicking because, again, Minnesota doesn't have a singular point on the board. But in terms of the punting, though, Mark Crawford with 5 punts in that first half, going for a combined total of 210 yards, averaging 42 yards per punt. And none of those punts, however, have gone inside the 20 to end off the first half stats for the Minnesota Golden Gophers. Now to the Ohio State side of things now, where Common Core goes ahead, does not have the best first half, but still is able to finish the first half going 11 of 18 for 147 yards with no touchdowns and no interceptions. Travion Henderson leading the running game right now for Ohio State with 14 carries for 71 yards, averaging 5.1 yards per carry, as well as a touchdown. And Chip Trayanum following it up with 2 carries for 21 yards, averaging 10.5 yards a carry. Then Colin McCord with the carry for -7 yards to finish up the stats for the running game of Ohio State. Now going over to the receiving game now, where Miko Buka leads that category for Ohio State's receiving room with 5 receptions for 83 yards, averaging 16.6 yards per carry. Then following that up is Marvin Harrison Jr., finishing the first half with 2 receptions for 26 yards, averaging 13 yards per carry, or rather 13 yards per reception. Then following that up is Cade Stover, finishing up the first half with 3 receptions for 25 yards, averaging 8.3 yards per reception. And then Travion Henderson ended up having a reception in the first half for 13 yards as well. Then for the kicking here for Ohio State, Jaden Fielding so far a perfect 2 for 2. Longest was from 47 yards out, and he has 7 of Ohio State's 13 points up to this point. And then following that up is Jesse Mirko for the punting, with only 1 punt for 46 yards, and that punt that Jesse Mirko had did not go ahead and go inside the 20. And that ends off the first half stats for the Ohio State Buckeyes. As now we get into the team stats now, where Ohio State is absolutely out-dueling Minnesota right now in terms of total yards, 232-90. Same thing going in Ohio State's favor for the passing yards, 147-57. Rushing yards, Ohio State again dominating in that category as well, 85-33. Yards per play, also another one that's in favor of Ohio State, 6.6 to 3.8. First downs, another one that's in Ohio State's favor, as they have 14 first downs to Minnesota's 4. Third down efficiency, also in favor of Ohio State, which they have gone 4 of 8 so far on third down in the first half, while Minnesota has gone 2 of 7. No team has had an opportunity to go for it on fourth down just yet. Ohio State with 35 total plays in the first half to Minnesota's 24. Minnesota again with 5 punts to only Ohio State's 1. In terms of penalties, this is the main category where Minnesota has been better than Ohio State. It's been showing discipline and also in terms of preventing to get penalized in the game, as Minnesota with only 1 penalty for 15 yards, and then Ohio State with 3 penalties for 18 yards. No fumbles lost by either team, no interceptions thrown by either team. It would have been in Ohio State's favor if Cody Simon would have came down with the deflection off of Josh Proctor, in which the ball did end up touching the ground. So it did end up getting ruled as an incomplete pass. And then time of possession is another thing that goes into Minnesota's favor, but just barely, as they have had the ball for 15 minutes and 8 seconds, while Ohio State has had the ball for 14 minutes and 52 seconds. But Ohio State has found a way to make the most out of it in the limited time that they have had to get every opportunity to score and have a 13-0 lead on Minnesota. But ladies and gents, on that note, that is how the first half stats come to a close, with the Buckeyes leading the Minnesota Golden Gophers right now by a score of 13-0. And on that note, ladies and gents, we're going to go ahead and take the halftime break like we always do. Everybody should know how this works, but for anyone who's been living under a rock right now up to this point, go get a snack, go get a drink, go to the bathroom, do whatever you guys need to do in order to get ready for the second half of this game between the Minnesota Golden Gophers and the Ohio State Buckeyes. And ladies and gentlemen, on that note, I will see you all back here for the second half. All right, guys, I am officially back, ready to go here for the second half. Not sure if this was a typo or not here by this guy, but what's going on, Aaron? Appreciate you for coming through into the stream, my guy. Hit the like button if you have not done so, Aaron. And since I did not recognize your account, and if you want constant coverage between the Eagles, the Sixers, the Phillies, the Buckeyes, all teams like that, you want constant coverage of covering those 4 teams, I do believe. That's how many I put up. Go ahead and hit the subscribe button as well. Come on, Buckeyes, let's do this. You already know what it is, MC. I want to see Kyle McCord have a better half. I want to see Kyle McCord have a better second half than what he did in the first half, because first half was not as great as I thought from Kyle McCord. Ohio State. So, Aaron, is this telling me that you're an Ohio State fan? Because I want to know what you're trying to say right now. But, guys, in the meantime, before the second half of this game kicks off between Ohio State and Minnesota, I want to go ahead and get back to doing this. I know I forgot the last live stream I did do for the Sixers, but at the same time, my phone was running low on battery, so I did not get that chance to do this last night for the Sixers, but I will get a chance to do it tonight. But let's go ahead and give a quick shout out to the newest sponsor of the YouTube channel in 10-Pin Toolkit. Shout out to the newest sponsor of the channel, 10-Pin Toolkit. If you out there have ever thought about either trying a new sport like bowling, want to learn about the history of bowling, or look to improve your game, then 10-Pin Toolkit is for you. 10-Pin Toolkit has so many tools to help you, such as angles and targeting, ball speed and RPM, an online score calculator, and so much more to help take your game to the next level. Ever since I started using 10-Pin Toolkit, it has taken my bowling game to new heights and has helped me tremendously in becoming a much improved bowler than what I was when I was just getting started to becoming the bowler that I am today. It is currently rated as tied for the #1 best bowling app in the world as of today. It is a great resource to be used for coaching and will help take the talent of bowlers to new places that they have never experienced before. So if you are interested in starting a bowling career, want to learn about the history of bowling, or just look to improve your game, go download 10-Pin Toolkit on either the App Store or the Google Play Store, or click the link down below in the description to download it and get ready to have an experience in bowling like you have never seen before. So yeah, guys, on that note, be sure to go ahead and download our newest sponsor of the YouTube channel in 10-Pin Toolkit. And got that in just in time, too, as the second half is underway here. And I do believe Ohio State does get the ball to start the second half, I'm pretty sure. Kyle McCord did get hurt, though, on the very last play towards the end of the first half. But will he start the second half, though? He did trot on the field with what looks like a brace on one of his legs. So it looks like Kyle McCord is going to be able to go. He is still in the game. So Kyle McCord will get right back to work here. As on the first play of the second half, he hands off to TreVeyon Henderson. And Henderson takes off. Henderson's got wheels. And Henderson says, "You can kiss him goodbye." Touchdown, Ohio State, on the very first play to begin the second half here for the Buckeyes. What a start here. What a start here for Ohio State, with TreVeyon Henderson just running it down Minnesota's throats. What a start to the running game here for TreVeyon Henderson. And the kick is up, and the kick is good for the sophomore kicker, Jaden Fielding. And just like that, Ohio State already striking to begin the second half, just 12 seconds in, and already putting up another touchdown to give the Buckeyes a 20-0 lead over the Minnesota Golden Gophers. Just go ahead and change the scoreboard here real quick. That'll be a 20-0 Ohio State Buckeyes lead over Minnesota. Great start to the second half, though, for Ohio State's offense, but especially their running game right there with a massive run by TreVeyon Henderson. 15 carries right there for TreVeyon Henderson for 146 yards. Better see something like that, though, against the Michigan Wolverines next week. Here we go. 12 seconds into the second half, and Jaden Fielding will kick this all the way down, and this will be a touchback here for Minnesota. And the Golden Gophers will get right back on the field. Most rushing TDs by active Big Ten players. Number one with Blake Corum with 51, Braylon Allen with 31. And I do believe TreVeyon Henderson has 31st touchdown right there in the Big Ten by an active player in the Big Ten. So he is currently tied with Braylon Allen right now. So one more will get him past Braylon Allen's rushing touchdown total, as the quarterback here gets faced with pressure by Ohio State's defense. JT Tuimoloau running with the football, and he will have it picked up off of a fumble here by Ohio State's D-line. And Kelly McManus fumbling the football here against this Ohio State pass rush. And it was actually Jack Sawyer who fumbled the football out of the possession of Kelly McManus. And then JT Tuimoloau picks up the fumble and takes it all the way down to about the 5-yard line. So Ohio State with another chance to score and give themselves potentially a 27-0 lead over the Minnesota Golden Gophers. It's actually down at the 6-yard line here, but regardless, first and goal here for Ohio State as McCord takes the snap. McCord on play action fires to the end zone, and that's incomplete. Kyle McCord never had that come close to the intended receiver, which was Emeka Egbuka. But again, regardless, though, Kyle McCord really has not had the best game tonight so far. Most red zone targets in the Big Ten entering today. Marvin Harrison currently leads that category with 21. Here we go with second and goal here for Ohio State. McCord takes a snap, hands it off to Trey Anum, and Trey Anum running with the ball down inside the 5, gets up to about the 4. And Minnesota could force Ohio State to throw the ball again, in which Kyle McCord has not been that efficient so far when throwing the football. He may be 11 of 19, but when you look back at the film, though, Kyle McCord has not been that efficient in throwing the football in this game. So it'll be a third down and goal here for Ohio State from the Minnesota 4-yard line. It would really stink to only come away with a field goal right here after the Buckeyes have phenomenal field position as McCord takes a snap, fires to the end zone, and it is caught. And forget about it. I completely forgot. Ohio State's got Marvin Harrison Jr. catching the football. Ohio State's got Marvin Harrison Jr. catching the football. A contender for the Heisman. And once again, just like that, 4 total plays in the second half for Ohio State and make that 2 touchdowns in just over a minute and 7 seconds to be exact, with already 13:53 left to go here in the third quarter. That's a good throw right there by Kyle McCord, putting it exactly where he had to put it all this time, and is able to give the Buckeyes a 27-0 lead over the Minnesota Golden Gophers. Now that's more like it from Kyle McCord. But on a positive note, though, Kyle McCord has yet to throw an interception in this game so far. But he has gotten close twice. I will admit that. Kyle McCord has gotten close twice. I'm going to get back in the chat here because I'm a little bit behind. Hey, Hoover, what's going on? Appreciate you for coming through. Said go Giants. So apparently we got a Giants fan in here. And apparently as I go further in the chat, also a Penn State fan. How you liking the loss to to Michigan as well as the loss to Ohio State. Two of the top 10 or top 5, I think, Big Ten teams right now. How you liking that, Mrs. Hoover? How you liking that? I'm just playing, though. Hit the like button if you have not done so. And Hoover, appreciate you for coming through to the stream. Hey, Kyle, pleasure to have you in the chat, my guy. Kyle, we only have 2 rules here in this chat. Number 1 is no spamming, and then number 2 is no disrespect in the chat. You do any of those, you're getting banned off the channel. But we welcome everyone that comes in here as long as there's no spamming nor disrespect in the chat by any means guaranteed. As long as there's none of that, everybody's welcome here. Not sure, MC, but all I know is that this Hannah person is apparently a Giants fan and a Penn State fan. Looks very stinky for both teams right now. Yeah, I'm not sure Penn State rules after losing to both Ohio State and Michigan. Not sure about that anymore. It's more so Ohio State that is ruling the Big Ten as well as Michigan, which is going to come down between those 2 teams to see potentially who's going to represent the Big Ten East and who is going to be playing in potentially a bowl game. Luigi Polanco, what's going on, my guy? Appreciate you for coming through. Said, let's go. Also went ahead and put the fire emojis on. Appreciate you for coming through, though, Luigi Polanco. Hit the like button if you have not done so, my guy. Appreciate you for coming through to the stream as well. Luke Solomon then coming in saying that Temple tied it up 24-24 in the 4th quarter. Let's see if they can battle it out. Who's Temple even playing, Lucas? Let me know in the chat. Let me know who Temple's playing in the chat. So go Temple, Lucas. You already know. Also, Hannah Hoover, just to let you know, for the sake of Penn State against Ohio State, 7 years and counting. Y'all have not beaten Ohio State since 2016. I don't want to hear a word. I don't want to hear a word until y'all beat Ohio State again. I don't want to hear a word. Playing UAB. That should be a whooping. Here we go, just like that. Ohio State with the 27-0 lead here over the Minnesota Golden Gophers with 13:53 left to go here in the 3rd quarter. As this is going to be a touchback here off the kick from Jaden Fielding. And Minnesota will once again start from their own 25-yard line. Now this right here was a solid throw by Colin McCord, throwing it to his favorite target back at St. Joseph's Prep for High School in Marvin Harrison Jr. Basically the number 1 wide receiver in the country right now. Despite not having kind of the season he wanted, I don't think he is even over 1,000 yards yet. But he's done some solid things, though, let's be honest. As 1st and 10 here for Minnesota from their own 25, Khalid Mans takes the snap, hands it off to his running back. That's going to be Jordan Newman. And Newman's going to get about a 7 to 8 yard gain here for Minnesota. And it will be 2nd down and short coming up here for the Golden Gophers. On all of the drives today for Minnesota, the first 5 drives resulted in punts. And then the recent drive from their own 25 resulted in a fumble. Here we go from the 32-yard line on 2nd down and 3. Khalid Manis in shotgun, standing at his own 27. Khalid Manis takes the snap. Khalid Manis looking, fires on the left side. That's going to be caught. And again, that's Davison Igbinison getting absolutely demolished like Swiss cheese out there, giving up a lot of plays every game in the season. It's at least one game. It's at least one time a game where I have to yell at the same guy in Davison Igbinison. He better be covering the slot guy when Ohio State plays Michigan next week. He better not be covering Roman Wilson or Cornelius Johnson. You better be guarding their other wide receiver. I forget his name, though. As Khalid Manis takes the snap, hands it off to number 30. That's going to be Jordan Newman again. And he will only get a gain of 2 yards, making it a 2nd down and 8 here for Minnesota. so far in the quarterback comparison. Ethan Khalil McManus with going 7 of 11 for 65 passing yards so far. And then Kyle McCord going 12 of 20 for 151 passing yards. And then 1 passing touchdown to no interceptions, though. It's good to know that Kyle McCord so far this season has not turned the ball over a lot. Here we go on 2nd down and 8 here for Minnesota. Khalil McManus takes the snap, fires down the middle of the field, and that is incomplete. The intended receiver, number 9, Jackson, could not reel in the catch. And this will be a 3rd down and 8 here coming up here for Minnesota. Here we go, 3rd down and 8 here for the Golden Gophers. They're only 2 of 7 on 3rd down today. They need to get to midfield for the 1st down. Khalil McManus takes a snap. Khalil McManus looking, fires on the right side, and that is intercepted. And that is going to be number 7, Jordan. I'm not saying his last name, but Jordan's taking this all the way down to inside the 15, where it will be 1st and 10 for Ohio State. And once again, this secondary is able to make a play. What a play here from Jordan. That's all I'm calling him just by his first name. Not even going to say his last name. Because then we'll need to pause every time I say his actual last name. But what a play right there by Jordan to get his hands up. Says, give me the interception. I do believe that was on their best target in Brevin Spanford. Their tight end, I do believe. He still has yet to record a reception in this game. I'm pretty sure if I do look back at the stats here, he does not have a single reception in this game. I do believe that was Brevin Spanford. But what a play right there by Jordan. And of course, Ohio State gets flagged for an unsportsmanlike conduct. What do you know? Just let the boys play. So they can't celebrate. They got to celebrate like normal human beings that are just locked in all the time. They can't celebrate like they're just little kids again. This is what I'm saying, MC. Let the guys celebrate. Doesn't matter what they do. So if they do the campfire celebration, you're not going to call that for unsportsmanlike conduct, but you're going to call that an unsportsmanlike conduct. Or even if you do the rowboat celebration, that's not an unsportsmanlike conduct. But when you do that celebration, it is an unsportsmanlike conduct. College football and NFL, make it make sense. It's not rocket science. Make it make sense. So now they're all the way pushed back to now the 29-yard line. Here we go. McCord takes a snap here, rolls to his left. McCord fires down the other side of the field, and that is going to be called by TreVeyon Henderson for his 2nd catch of the day. And it goes for another Ohio State 1st down. That's another big reception right there for TreVeyon Henderson. Hopefully we do use TreVeyon Henderson as a receiving back out of the backfield a good amount, a little bit, like sending him on a wheel route or something like that. But regardless, though, that's a nice play right there for Ohio State. Here we go from the 16-yard line. McCord takes a snap, hands it off to Trey Yanum, and Trey Yanum gets a gain of about 2 or 3 yards. It'll be a 2nd down and long coming here for Ohio State. Come on, Ohio State, put this in. Put this nonsense in. Let's go. Tennessee is getting absolutely destroyed by Georgia. Currently 37-10 right now. As McCord takes the snap, fires to the end zone where he overthrows Julian Fleming. McCord was looking for the touchdown, but he overthrows Julian Fleming. That's unbelievable, though. You cannot be overthrowing these guys against Michigan. You cannot be making these mistakes. Michigan's just going to find a way to beat you every which way if you keep this up. If you keep missing these guys, if you keep throwing into double coverage, as McCord will try to throw a screen pass to Tip Trayanum, but it is incomplete. It's the last thing we need from Kyle McCord. And guys, if you flash back to my Ohio State schedule prediction video or live stream, in a way, I had one thing in common for all three versions of the record for Ohio State, between my floor record, my mid-range record, and my ceiling record. You guys want to take a guess? I'll tell you guys the answer after the 32-yard field goal attempt here by Jaden Fielding. There was one thing in common between the three predictions between the floor record, the mid-range record, and the ceiling record, as the kick is up, and it is good for Jaden Fielding to give Ohio State a 30-0 lead here over the Minnesota Golden Gophers. Guys, anybody want to take a guess on what was common in all three versions of Ohio State's record prediction for me? Anybody want to take a guess? Because I'll eventually tell you guys what was common. What was in common with all three record predictions. Just let me change the score real quick and I'll tell you guys. Okay, there we go. So the one thing that was common between my floor record, my mid-range record, and my ceiling record, the one thing that was common in each one in terms of win or loss is that in all three records, I had Ohio State losing to Michigan. And this right here, what Kyle McCord is doing, is going to be one of the reasons why if he does not step it up. So I need Kyle McCord to be better. I'm happy Ohio State's winning the game. I mean, this is a game they should be winning by more than 30 points right now. If Kyle McCord was way more efficient, then this game would probably be Ohio State up by at least 40 points maybe. 40 points or more. We'd probably have Devin Brown in right now if he's active. If not him, the true freshman Lincoln Keenholz will probably get some time right now. If Kyle McCord would have made some more of these throws. It's the one thing I get sick and tired of, though, is when we have a quarterback that goes into his first year and what should look like he is used to the system for Ryan Day, because it is his first year starting, but it is one of the last few games that he's playing in the regular season. The one thing that I get sick and tired of is going back to the old ways when you play your first game of the season, in the first full season that you are potentially playing. The one thing I get sick and tired of is seeing a quarterback between him overthrowing receivers or throwing the football into double coverage. It's the one thing I get sick and tired of. So Kyle McCord, next week, you got to clean it up. You got to clean it up because with Michigan, there's no mercy. There's no mercy against Michigan. Zero mercy whatsoever. So Kyle McCord, you have to come out. You got to be locked in. Locked in. I'm telling you. You got to be locked in, Kyle McCord. You have to be locked in. No ifs, ands, or buts for being locked in for next week. You got to be locked in. As the kick is away here for Jaden Fielding. Going to be called for a fair catch here by the kick returner here for the Wolverines. Or not the Wolverines, the Golden Gophers, I should say. I'm thinking about next week's game all of a sudden. Is next week's game here yet? Because then I can say the Wolverines all I want. Here we go. 1st and 10 here for the Golden Gophers here from their own 25-yard line. Kelly McManus shotgun takes a snap. Hands it off to his running back, number 30. And number 30 taking the ball, still on his feet. Gets a gain of about 20 yards. That will be Jordan Newman taking the ball. And he takes it for about 20 yards to make it a 1st and 10 here for the Golden Gophers. And again, they're just the team that's kind of trying to play spoiler at this point. This isn't a game that's really going to mean anything to them because they currently have a 5-5 record right now. Here we go. 1st and 10 here for the Golden Gophers from their own 46-yard line. Khalid McManus takes a snap, hands it off again, and Jordan Newman that time is going to be stuffed only for a 3-yard gain, as that is going to be Tyleek Williams making the tackle here for this Ohio State defensive line. In terms of rushing yards, though, for Ohio State, 164 for the Buckeyes and only 63 for the Golden Gophers. That 20 to 21-yard burst by Jordan Newman was arguably their best of the day. As Khalid McManus takes a snap, only gets a gain of about 1 with, again, that's going to be Jordan Newman taking a 3rd straight carry, making this a 3rd down and 6 here for the Golden Gophers offense. They're going to eventually have to throw it again for sure. And again, this Ohio State defensive line is doing a phenomenal job at getting pressure to the guys in the backfield. Here we go. 3rd down and 6 here for Minnesota. Khalid McManus takes a snap. Khalid McManus fires down the middle. It's going to be dropped. It originally was caught by Minnesota's best target in Brevin Spann-Ford, who has yet to record a reception, and he had the ball for the moment, but then it results in an incomplete pass, and this is going to result in another punt here for the Golden Gophers. And Sonny Styles was not even close to having an opportunity to break up the pass against Brevin Spann-Ford. He was not even anywhere close. So he'll get away with one right there for sure. But I'll guarantee Jim Knowles is going to tell him to be better in terms of staying on his man. As Jaden Ballard will receive the catch. It will be a fair catch here for Jaden Ballard. And with 8 minutes left to go here, Ohio State continuing their dominance on defense. How will Kyle McCord respond, though, in the second half? Despite there being 2 touchdowns, though. Despite there being 2 touchdowns, how is Kyle McCord going to respond? Yeah, guys, against teams like this, though, this is what Ohio State is expected to do. They're expected to destroy teams like Minnesota. Now, next week, that's not going to be the case. The only thing about next week that Ohio State could be expected to do, or what their goal is to do, is just beat Michigan. That's their only goal. It's not about how many points you beat Michigan by, because we know it's going to be close regardless. It's all about just getting the win and going 1-0 for that week. So again, all the mistakes that were made, obviously the boys are going to be looking at the film after this game, probably the next day. And especially Kyle McCord, he's going to really think about what he has to do better to improve in this game against the Wolverines. Especially pay close attention to Kyle McCord. Because he's had some good plays, but he's also had some bad ones too. Everybody else I'm not really too concerned with. It's mainly coming down to Kyle McCord, Ryan Day, and Jim Knowles. Because Jim Knowles' defense last year gave up 45 points to the Wolverines overall as a whole. This year, his defense is giving up about 10 points a game. Now, obviously, that's not going to be the case that his defense is only going to allow 10 points a game because we know Michigan's going to score more than 10 points. But still, though, it's going to hopefully be a much better performance, and hopefully he just allows Michigan to only have like 20 points in this game coming up next week. But that's what you're going to want to expect from Jim Knowles on the defense next week against the Wolverines in Ann Arbor. But here we go, 1st and 10 here for the Buckeyes. As Kyle McCord goes ahead and hands it off to who I do believe is the 4th string running back in Dallin Hayden, who's getting some playing time. And he will only get a gain of 2 on this play to make it a 2nd down and 8 here for Ohio State. And Dallin Hayden will go right out and onto the bench. Coming in at 5'10", 205 for his height and weight. Here we go. I do believe this is Xavier Johnson in the backfield as McCord fires this one to the left side. And it's going to be caught here by the true freshman Carnell Tate. And he'll pick up a couple yards, but regardless, it's going to be a 3rd down and short here for the Buckeyes, specifically a 3rd down and 3. Here we go. McCord takes a snap. McCord fires down the right side. Is caught by Fleming. He did get past the marker for the 1st down. And it will be a 1st down and 10 here for Ohio State. Great catching. Good throw by Kyle McCord. But a better play, though, by Julian Fleming to get past the 1st down marker before being tackled by number 5 for Minnesota. Kyle McCord still with only a 60% completion percentage. Again, that's going to have to improve in a massive way when we play Team Up North next week. As McCord hands it off to Dallin Hayden, and Hayden is going to get this up to about the 44-yard line. And that is another big burst from the 4th string running back in Dallin Hayden. Nice big burst up the middle and almost got it towards the Ohio State logo at midfield. He actually got down at the 43-yard line instead of the 44-yard line. They're starting to bring in some of the backup receivers, so we're going to potentially see some action out of Devin Brown or Lincoln Keenholz if Devin Brown is not available. As McCord hands it off again to Dallin Hayden, and Dallin Hayden with a bit of a burst, but that just came to an immediate screeching halt, as that is going to result in about a 3 or 4 yard carry. 2nd down and long coming up for the Buckeyes. MC says, got to beat the Team Up North. You already know we have to, but I just don't think it's going to happen. Especially because of their running game, because their running game is super efficient. Here we go. 2nd and 6 here for Ohio State. McCord takes a snap, hands off to Dallin Hayden again, and Hayden will get up to exactly midfield. He'll get right on the 50, and with under 5 minutes left to go here in the 3rd quarter, it will be a 3rd down 3 here for the Buckeyes. What does Ryan Day have in store here on 3rd down 3 here for Kyle McCord? In terms of yards per game, season average for the rushing yards per game for Ohio State is at 139, and the same for the pass game is at 290. Today for the running game, it's been 188 combined, and for the pass game, it's been 174. McCord fires this one, and this one is caught by Julian Fleming. So Kyle McCord will just continue to stack up the passing yards, and that's another completion right there for Kyle McCord. That's another solid throw right there to Julian Fleming, but that was more so receiver highlight play from Julian Fleming as well. But regardless, though, it is a first down, and their 19th first down of the day. But Ohio State currently stands at the 44-yard line of Minnesota right now. They look to continue to drive down the field. Can they do it? McCord takes a snap. McCord's going to try to run, and McCord only going to get about 2 yards. And again, McCord is not one of those quarterbacks who is mobile. They have not produced a mobile quarterback from Ohio State ever since Justin Fields. Mark my words. C.J. Stroud was not a mobile quarterback at Ohio State, but look at what he's doing in Houston. He's showing the mobility in Houston right now for the Texans. And Colin McCord, not really too mobile. But again, Justin Fields was that dude in terms of his mobility. But it also coaching was a factor as McCord fires this one down the middle of the field. It's caught by number 49. I don't even know who that is, number 49 for this team. We've barely even seen him this year. Like, is this our third string tight end? Probably is, I think. I think this is our third string tight end. He actually tripped up on his route. So his route got messed up a little bit, but he was still able to make the catch. Yeah, that is Gerd. Whoever the heck Gerd is for this team. 9 plays for 51 yards for Colin McCord. McCord takes a snap. McCord fires down the left side, and that is caught by Xavier Johnson. And that's another first down here for Ohio State inside the 20 of Minnesota. Again, that's another one that's just a receiver highlight type of catch. Not the best throw by Colin McCord, but that was definitely the best option to go ahead and get it to, as nobody was even close to Xavier Johnson. Here we go. 1st and 10 here for the Buckeyes from about the 19, as Down Hayden takes the ball on a carry, and we'll get down to about the 14-yard line. This will be about a 5-yard carry here for Down Hayden. 2nd and 5 coming up. So far for Colin McCord's sake, he's 18 of 28 for 203 yards and then a touchdown as well. For Colin McCord, again, he's been one of those guys that has not turned the ball over in this game. That's another thing you gotta love about Colin McCord. I'll bet he just goes ahead and plays out this drive, and then either it's going to be Devin Brown or if he's available. But if he's unavailable, I'll get a chance to call the first action of Lincoln Keenholz, the true freshman here for Ohio State. In which this isn't his first game that he's playing, getting some playing time for the season, because he did play, I think it was last game or 2 games ago. But this will be the first time I get to call some action for Lincoln Keenholz. I did see his throws, though, last week. They looked pretty solid. So maybe this is going to potentially be the Buckeyes quarterback for the future at some point. As McCord takes a snap here from the 13, fires down the right side. It's caught by Xavier Johnson, who puts a move on a defender and gets down at about the 5-yard line to make it 1st and goal for the Buckeyes. The clock will continue to run. Again, not the greatest throw by Colin McCord, but he definitely found the best option. 19 of 29 now for Colin McCord for 211 yards. Still with 1 touchdown. Still with 1 touchdown, though. 25 seconds left to go in the 3rd quarter, and we do have an injury timeout. Natty like King Kong, what's going on, my guy? Appreciate you for coming through. So the Buckeyes going undefeated. They're going to win this game, Natty like King Kong, but next week against Michigan is where it is going to be the true test to see if Ohio State does go undefeated. And whoever wins next week's game between Ohio State and Michigan is going to represent the Big Ten East for the Big Ten Championship, more than likely against Iowa. But I appreciate you coming through, though, Natty like King Kong. Not sure if you're a new viewer here or if you just have not been here in a while. But if you have not done so, my guy, hit the like button on the stream. And if you have not done so, Natty like King Kong, go ahead and hit the subscribe button as well if you have not done so already. But again, this is probably going to be the last drive that Kyle McCord has here. And then we're either going to potentially see Devin Brown or Lincoln Keenholz, depending if Devin Brown is available or not. And number 27, Newbin, will be taken off the field here for the Golden Gophers. He'll go to the sideline, maybe the locker room. If not that, though, he'll just be going to the blue tent. Patrick Gerd was the one with the reception for 9 yards. Starting to bring a good amount of the backups in here. Here we go. First and goal here for Ohio State. And that's actually going to take us to the end of the third quarter, where Ohio State has a massive lead right now over the Minnesota Golden Gophers. As a matter of fact, shutting them out right now 30-0 as we go to the fourth quarter, where it's looking like a guaranteed win here for Ohio State. But yeah, guys, getting some fourth quarter action here. Either Lincoln Keenholz or Devin Brown, we will potentially see in the fourth quarter. Probably after the touchdown drive here by Ohio State coming up, where Ohio State will potentially get a 37-0 lead here against the Minnesota Golden Gophers. But overall, Ohio State has just done an excellent job. The running game has definitely provided a massive spark from Travion Henderson. And then that defense, though, has been absolutely dominant in this game. But again, it's one of those games that is expected. It's not like a game that's going to test Ohio State in a way. But at the same time, though, this is a preview to what we need to see next week against Michigan. This is a preview to what we need to see next week against the team up north. Got to see the same thing. Got to see Kyle McCord making his best throws on the field. Need to see that running game get going. Need to see the pass game get going from Kyle McCord and amongst all the receivers, including Marvin Harrison Jr., Emeka Egbuka, Julian Fleming, Carnell Tate, Cade Stover, whoever gets playing time. I need to see protection from that offense, great protection from that offensive line to protect Kyle McCord, because Kyle McCord is not getting away from any of the Michigan defenders. I just know it. Then that pass rush needs to get to J.J. McCarthy against one of the top O-lines in the country in the Michigan Wolverines O-line. Then the linebackers got to do their job, whether if they're coming up towards the D-line as edge rushers or if they're going to be more towards the secondary. And then the secondary has to lock up on the receivers, especially in particular Roman Wilson, Cornelius Johnson, and then my X factor, like I said before, for the Michigan Wolverines in Colston Loveland. He's going to be like I said before, he was going to be the guy that was going to shock a lot of people this season. And I would say, from an Ohio State standpoint, I really think that he did. As the fourth quarter is about to get started here, And Travion Henderson is just a huge part in this Ohio State offense. As McCord is still in that quarterback, hands it off to Dallin Hayden. And Dallin Hayden will get down to about the 1 or 2 yard line. And it'll be second and goal here coming up here for Ohio State to start the fourth quarter. Get the touchdown here and then take Kyle McCord out. Just let this clock run. Outside the touchdown, just let the clock run. On this drive specifically, Ohio State has the same amount of first downs as Minnesota has had all game long. As McCord hands it off again to Dallin Hayden, and Hayden gets stuffed again at about the line of scrimmage. So it'll be a third down and goal here for Kyle McCord. Now, what does the offense do here? Do they bring in Travion Henderson to potentially get the touchdown? Or do they throw the ball in the red zone inside the 5? You did see Dallin Hayden go to the sideline, so you figure another running back is in. And indeed, someone else is in, as is Chip Trayanum. McCord, however, goes on play action, fires to the end zone. Wide open for the touchdown is the tight end, Cade Stover. Cade Stover getting his 4th reception of the day, resulting in just a yard, but a touchdown on the board here for Cade Stover. Great job by Cade Stover to get off his block. Get off the man that was trying to hold him back from being an eligible receiver. And then Cade Stover says, "No, sir, you're not stopping me. I'm being an eligible receiver for my quarterback to throw to," as the kick is up, and the kick is good for Jaden Fielding, the sophomore kicker, once again. Gotta love what's going on right now. Gotta love it. But again, I said before, and I'll say it again, this is expected for Ohio State to beat the easy teams. This is expected from Ohio State to beat the easy teams. Next week, that's going to be no easy task. It's going to be no easy task next week. So hopefully, based on Jim Knowles' defense and with Ohio State as a whole, expect a close game. But yeah, guys, again, just pure dominance overall from Ohio State. Even with it, when it hasn't been the most efficient, Ohio State's found a way to make the most of it. As Jaden Fielder wants to go ahead and kick it down here for Ohio State. 13:43 left to go here. in the game. I do believe it's the same quarterback still in right now for the Golden Gophers. Still is Khalil Yagmanis. And he gives it off to his running back, number 30 again here for Minnesota in Jordan Newbin. Gets back to the line of scrimmage, but there is a flag on the play. And it's going to be a holding call against the defense. Of course, you got to do it at the end of the game. Can't let the boys play. Ryan Day even wants to know what in the world is going on. Here we go, guys. 1st and 10 here now for Minnesota after the holding call against Ohio State. A lot of the second stringers are in as Kelly McManus hands it off again to Jordan Newbin, and he'll get a gain of about 7 yards on the play. Be a 2nd down and 3 coming up here for the Golden Gophers. Clock still continues to wind down. Kelly McManus shotgun. Ball sitting at the 42-yard line. Hands it off again. I do believe this is again Jordan Newbin, and yes, it is. He barely will get to the 1st down marker and has just enough forward momentum to pick up the 1st down. The time continues to wind down here. About 12 minutes left to go in the game. Kelly McManus takes the snap, goes on play action. Kelly McManus firing down the left side. That's caught. And picking up the 1st down is number 11 here in Spencer. Again, about a gain of, I'd say, 8 yards probably. And I was correct. 8-yard gain right there for Spencer, number 11 here for Minnesota. 2nd down and 2 here for Minnesota coming up. They need to get to Ohio State's 45-yard line for the 1st down. Kelly McManus takes a snap, hands it off again to Jordan Newbin, and he gets that last-second push for the 1st down. And he'll get the 1st down inside the 45-yard line of Ohio State. Here we go. Kelly McManus on the read option, and he trips. Loses about 4 yards on the play. But the college football playoff rankings as of right now, Georgia number 1, Ohio State number 2, Michigan number 3, and Florida State number 4. The matchups as of right now would be Georgia against Florida State, and then Ohio State versus Michigan again. And in the hunt right now are the Washington Huskies and the Oregon Ducks. Bo Nix and Michael Penix's squads are both fighting for a playoff spot. Kelly McManus fires down the left side, and that is caught by number 9. Number 9 will not get the first down. It will be a third down situation, though, here for Minnesota. Number 9 being Daniel Jackson. Looks like he was able to hang on to the catch here. Against the Ohio State defensive back. Got under 10 minutes to go. Clock winding down. There's about 9:40 left to go here in the game. They'll run a QB sneak here. Interesting move, but it does work, I do believe, for the first down. And they're giving him the forward progress. They're giving Kelly McManus the forward progress, and they're giving them the first down. It's about to be one of these long drives, ladies and gentlemen. I'm going to tell you that right now. It's about to be one of these long drives that Minnesota is just trying to put together so they just end up not being shut out. Here we go. 1st and 10 here for the Golden Gophers from the 34-yard line. Kelly McManus takes a snap, goes on play action, rolls out to his right, fires it down to his running back. That's Jordan Newman, and he gets absolutely swallowed up by Turner, number 12 for this Ohio State secondary. A good amount of the backups are in, though. So looks like we're not going to see many of the starters for the rest of the game. Looks like we are going to see a good amount of time from the backups. Second and 6 here for the Golden Gophers from the 30-yard line of Ohio State. Kelly McManus hands it off to Jordan Newman, and he is going absolutely nowhere. Number 93 able to make the play here for this Ohio State defense. This D-line just knows how to be so dominant overall as a whole. Seven tackles for loss from this Ohio State defense. It's unbelievable what Ohio State can do as a team. 3rd down 9 here for Minnesota. Clock continues to wind down. Kelly McManus takes a snap. Kelly McManus looking, dancing, trying to get out of there, and he is not going anywhere. That's going to be Caden Curry with the sack here for this defense for Ohio State. Nice job right there by Caden Curry to get off the offensive lineman and find a way to get the sack. That's a great play by Caden Curry. And they have a left-footed kicker. They have a lefty for a kicker in Dragan Kasish. I'm probably saying that wrong. But anyway, the kick away for him is up, and the kick is good. So Minnesota does end up breaking their shutout streak right now with 6:43 left to go in the fourth. But we're probably going to see either Devin Brown or Lincoln Keenholz with the second unit most likely when we come back from the commercials. We just says thoughts on Monday night. It's going to be a really tough game. I'm not going to lie. Going up against Pat Mahomes after what happened in the Super Bowl, this is the start of a 5-game gauntlet. You got the Chiefs on Monday. You got the Bills on Thanksgiving weekend on Sunday, on next Sunday. After that, you have the 49ers. Then you have the Cowboys in Dallas. And then you got the Seahawks in Seattle. The Eagles can win 2 or 3 of those games. I will be the happiest kid on the block. But to get to your point on Monday night, Bleacher, it's going to be a really tough game, like I said before. Going into Arrowhead to face Patrick Mahomes and Andy Reid, in which Andy Reid has never lost to the Eagles, in which that has been the case. That Andy Reid has never lost to the Eagles ever since leaving Philly to become the Chiefs head coach. Ever since that point, never losing to the Eagles. The Eagles are due for some revenge, though, and they're due for finding a way to beat Big Red in Andy Reid. They're due to find a way. It's going to be close. It's going to be competitive in Arrowhead. It's going to come down to the last couple drives, but I think the Chiefs find a way of pulling this out to have the Eagles lose the first game of their 5-game gauntlet coming up. So it's time to see what the second string offense can do. As we're officially back from the commercial break, time to see what the second string offense can do. Not sure what kind of formation Minnesota was doing for the kickoff, but it will be kicked into the end zone. It will be a touchback, and a lot of the backups are coming in, and it will end up being Lincoln Keenholz, the true freshman, stepping onto the field here for Ohio State. So it looks like Devin Brown is not back yet. Looks like Devin Brown is not back yet, ladies and gentlemen. Again, hopefully Devin Brown's okay, continues to heal from what happened with his injury. And hopefully he's back for next week because we want to go ahead and confuse Michigan's defense a little bit. So unless if Lincoln Keenholz can find a way to do a little bit of action that Devin Brown does, and we use Devin Brown as a decoy the way we could use Lincoln Keenholz as a decoy, if somehow in the world we could do that, which I think it is doubtful because Ryan Day, in terms of decoys, he loves using Devin Brown for the sake of his mobility and also the pass game, kind of like a Taysom Hill type of player. I really doubt that it happens, but if somehow in the world Devin Brown cannot go for next week against Michigan, which I really hope he does, for the sake of him being a decoy, could we see Lincoln Keenholz be a decoy for next week? I don't know. Who knows if we're going to use Lincoln Keenholz as a decoy next week or not. That would take a lot of preparation, though, for him to be used as a decoy and get put into the middle of games. Devin Brown already has that experience. Devin Brown already has that experience and knows what it's like being a decoy. Lincoln Keenholz is coming in fresh. Here we go. The true freshman Lincoln Keenholz is marching onto the field with the backup offense here. We'll get to see what the true freshman once again has in store here for this Ohio State offense. For Kyle McCord, how he finished the night, he finished 20 of 30, 212 yards, 2 touchdowns, no interceptions. And at home, Kyle McCord has thrown 14 passing touchdowns and no interceptions at home in the horseshoe at Ohio State. So that was his last opportunity to make something happen. As on the first play of this drive here for Lincoln Keenholz and the backups, it was a running play, but barely gets back to the line of scrimmage. It'll be a 2nd down and 10 here coming up here for the Buckeyes and the offense. Lincoln Keenholz coming in as a freshman coming in at 6'2", 200 pounds, and his hometown being in Pierre, South Dakota. As on second down, Keenholz hands it off to, I think that's Evan Pryor. And he'll pick up about 3 yards, making this right here a 3rd down 7 for Ohio State. Clock continues to wind down as this will be a 3rd down 7 coming up. Might have the opportunity to see Lincoln Keenholz in the pass game a little bit here. You got 2 receivers left, 1 to the right. Actually, you got 2 to the right. As Keenholz fires this out to the right side towards Evan Pryor, who gets back to the line of scrimmage and actually has this one stop the clock. It's not the best first drive of this game for Lincoln Keenholz, but again, it really doesn't matter with Ohio State being up 37-3. But I really do hope Devin Brown does come back for next week. Stars 99, what's going on, my guy? Appreciate you for coming through. Said 12-0 is what Ohio State is going to go. We have one more game next week, though, Star Wars 99, so don't overthink yourself. If you look back at my record prediction video where I did both the floor record, the mid-range record, and the ceiling record for Ohio State, there was one thing that all 3 of those record predictions all had in common. The one thing that they all had in common was a loss to Michigan at the end of the season. So I don't know if Ohio State's going to find a way to beat Michigan. If they do, great. If they don't, then it is what it is. But I appreciate you for coming through those Star Wars 99. Hit the like button if you have not done so, my guy. I appreciate you for coming through to the stream as well. Ten-two for Penn State. Yeah, they did end up beating Rutgers today. They will have the opportunity, though, to get in the bowl game for sure. They will definitely have the chance to make it into a bowl game, 100%. Guys, shout out to the 5 people still sticking through in the chat. Appreciate you guys for still sticking through. Hit the like button if you guys have not done so already. And if you guys are new viewers coming in here, be sure to go ahead and hit the subscribe button to the channel as well. Oh, I forgot to change the score when Minnesota got their field goal earlier. Forgot to do this real quick. 37-3 in favor of Ohio State still. Ohio State going to go 11-0 after this game tonight. .440 left to go here in the 4th quarter. Again, Minnesota just kind of playing spoiler at this point. With 4:40 left to go in this one. They start off from their own 19-yard line with Kelly McManus in shotgun. Kelly McManus stands at about the 14-yard line with the ball being snapped at the 19. Kelly McManus takes a snap, Goes on play action. Looking. Fires on the left sideline, and it is broken up incomplete. Number 15 for the defense here for Ohio State, able to make a play. We're 35 left to go in this one, ladies and gentlemen. As this will be a running play here for Minnesota. That's another big stop here by this Ohio State defense, led by number 95. Not Michigan State, Star Wars 99. Michigan, the Wolverines, not the Spartans. We have the Wolverines next week, not the Spartans, my guy. Under 4 minutes left to go in this one. It's a 3rd down and 9. Cal McManus takes a snap, fires on the right side. It is caught and absolutely smothered by Hicks. Number 11, Hicks, able to make a massive play. And this will be another 4th down stop here for this Ohio State defense. They better be ready to play like this next week, that's for sure. But except it's got to be the starters doing the work. The starters, regardless, though, they definitely played phenomenal. And the backups are just doing the same thing. So hopefully they can do this to Michigan next week. Talking about my team, Penn State. Oh, yeah, I forgot you were a Penn State fan. I completely forgot you were a Penn State fan. My bad, Stars 99. I thought you were an Ohio State fan, and you were talking about our matchup next week. But I completely forgot, though, you are a Penn State fan. We're going to probably continue to see action from Lincoln Keenholz here. As Lincoln Keenholz takes a snap, hands it off to Evan Pryor, and Evan Pryor going to get a gain of about 6 yards, and it'll be a 2nd down and 4 coming up here for Ohio State. Yep, we both play a team that is representing Michigan, whether it's Michigan or Michigan State. We both do play a team that represents Michigan. Defense in terms of allowed this season, about 10 points per game allowed this season for Ohio State's defense, which is 2nd in the nation for one of the 3 stats. The other 2 I did not get a chance to go over, as Keenholz hands it off to Evan Pryor. And Pryor getting a gain of about, I'd say 3 or 4, making it a 3rd down short coming up here for Ohio State. I want to see Lincoln Keenholz throw the ball a little bit. I want him to get loose and throw the ball here. See what he can do with his arm. I know we got to see only 3 pass attempts from him last week, but I still want to see what he can do. Here we go. Keenholz takes a snap, fires out to Joe Royer, the 3rd-string tight end, and he'll pick up the 1st down for Ohio State and potentially go ahead and keep the clock rolling. And he will keep the clock rolling. He can take this down. This can take this down to under a minute left to go. Ohio State could probably just kneel it, more than likely. And guys, I'm not going to go over the final stats because my phone is on low battery right now, and with it being towards the end of the stream, I just don't feel like charging it up to this point. So I will not be going over the final stats for this game. But regardless, though, Ohio State does get a massive win over the Minnesota Golden Gophers. And Evan Pryor with another carry for about 2 to 3 yards. And the minute left to go here, Ohio State could probably just kneel it after that one. They could take this thing all the way down to almost 20 seconds left. And that's going to be how this game comes to a close. So I might as well go ahead and just put the final score up now. As there's what your final score is going to be for tonight. And that's going to do it as Ohio State officially defeats the Minnesota Golden Gophers by a final score of 37-3. MC says, OH. The response is IO. Thank you very much. 11-0 on the year, but we're not done. We're not done just yet. We got more business to take care of next week. But this definitely was a good win to kind of show who we are as a team. Could have had a couple more points, though, if Common Core was a little bit better, but at the same time, I will guarantee that he does go ahead and finds a way to clean up his mistakes and improve for the next game. Next week, though, is going to need to be Common Core's biggest game of the year. Biggest game of the year next week for Common Core is what it has to be. Has to be his biggest game of the year next week. So he's got to go into a lot of preparation for that. He's got to really get focused, has to really get dialed in for next week for sure. But a good win tonight for Ohio State. On to Michigan next week. Again, guys, appreciate everybody for coming through and tuning in to this one. As Ohio State once again gets the win over the Minnesota Golden Gophers 37-3. Drew Aller got hurt. Man, prayers up for Drew Aller. That's a guy that I have a lot of respect for as an Ohio State fan. I actually liked him coming into college, honestly. Eagles are playing on a wet field on Monday. Man, that ought to be fun. That ought to be fun playing on a wet field. Hey, still, go Birds on Monday, though, ladies and gentlemen. But yeah, guys, on that note, ladies and gents, that's pretty much going to go ahead and do it for me. Be sure to like and subscribe if you guys have not done so. And I'll talk to you guys on the next one. Peace, everybody. Have a good night, y'all. God bless and peace.